YouTube? Welcome back to UniX TCG, and today we are doing another set 2 primer. That is right, these things are still coming and they're going to be coming for another few days. I'm preparing content so that even when I'm over in Dallas for the Treasure Cup, you guys should still be getting a constant flow. So I hope you guys enjoy that, trying to be a little more official with the amount of content coming out. So with that being said, we're about to jump into Black. This is going to be a little longer than the other ones, only because Black's cards are all new. Actually, I guess that doesn't really make it longer. Generally about the same cards. I digress. We're about to get into it. I want to give you guys a quick reminder that if you want to join the Universe X fam, all you have to do is go down, like the video, hit that subscription button, hit the notification button, and comment. Let me know your thoughts on Black. If you're excited to play it, what's good. We will be doing another giveaway next month with the 2 Black starter decks, so look out for that. And we have about another 2 weeks until we start tallying up the votes, or the tickets for the purple deck giveaway. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Let's go to the cards. All right, so when it comes to these, you pretty much have a big set them up, knock them down kind of aspect to the Black deck. What I mean by this is that a lot of the cards will lower costs of your opponent's characters, and then other cards will do things to them, like blow them up, or maybe gain an ability if your opponent has a 0 cost on board. And by that, you have a lot of A-B type cards. You have enablers, and you have, what's the word I'm looking for? Capitalizers, I'm gonna say that. So with this, we're gonna talk about the leader first. That is Smoker. Dawn 1, activate main. Sorry, Dawn X1, activate main once per turn. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 to their cost this turn. Then, if there's a character with a cost of 0 in play, this leader gains 1,000 power for the turn. I will let you know right now, this is not the best leader in terms of effects, but he is the only mono black leader right now, and because of this, that is going to be why you end up, just using him. I believe in this set, we're getting like a GARP leader that's red-black, but we're not getting another solid black leader. So that's safe for Rob Lucci in set 3, which we have a long time until we get into. But that being said, we have got Smoker right here, and basically he's going to sometimes enable things. And somebody has a 1 cost on play, which is very easy to do. A Perona, a Nami, a Momo, a Bonnie, a Beige. There's a lot of cards that this guy will be able to turn to 0 and then get his heightened attack off of. And of course, swinging as a 6K is pretty neat. It's the difference between your opponent having to drop a 1K or a 2K. But then you can even just dawn him up by 1 and swing for 7 and force your opponent to really have it if you're trying to put on the pressure. So that's pretty cool. Next card is going to be Suru. She's a 1 cost, 0 attack, on play. Give up to one of your opponent's cards -2 to their cost this turn. Very cool. She's also a counter 2K, so sometimes you won't be using this just because she's good to have in hand. But that's excellent. Moving on to the next card, you're going to see a Suru blocker, who just 2 for 2K blocker. Very, very simple. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of cards that lower cost and a lot of cards that just actually do things with the lower cost. Next one is going to be Don Quixote Resonante, aka Corazon, and he just is a 2K blocker. I wish there was a card with him that was kind of better, but yeah, he's 2K blocker. Brother of Dofi, no big deal. Next, we've got Garp. Now, this Garp is a 2K counter, and so you're going to be keeping him in hand a lot, but he's a 2 cost, 3K swinger who has Dawn X2 when attacking K up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 0. This is very, 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 very cool, because when you start getting higher in this archetype, you're going to see a lot of ways to take down somebody's cost. Like if you bring something as high as a Whitebeard 9-drop down to 0, you could then swing with this guy 2 down underneath him and blow up Whitebeard. So just remember that in Black, it's about taking down things to a certain level so that you can then manage them with your other cards. But this is a very good card. Next, we got Tashigi, another counter 2K. They've got a lot of them in Black. They started off with a lot of them in Black. But activate main, you may rest this character. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 to their cost this turn. Very, very good card. Decent enough stats to where you can actually protect her with a 2K, so that's pretty neat. So she won't just be picked off by a neutral 5K, but that's pretty tight. And next, you're going to see some of the payoff for the first time. You've got 3 cost Kobe. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 3 or less. But you can see, depending on how you get these cards going, you could use your leader effect on a Basil, then use another card like Tashigi on the Basil, and then you could just play Kobe, and Kobe is going to be able to blow up Basil just by being played. So there are ways to do this, but this is for the most part like a combo deck, you know? Next card, this is one of the first of the really, really good ones. We've got Kuzan. He is an SR, as the Admirals pretty much all are. And on play, you draw 1 card. So you play in for 4, you draw 1 card. That's very good. And then when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 to their cost during this turn. This is amazing. This is going to be able to do so many good things. I've seen a lot of stuff. Like I was watching the Japanese finals the other day, and I saw a guy have 2 Kuzans on board, and he swung with 1 Kuzan, brought Whitebeard down to a 5 cost, swung with another Kuzan, brought Whitebeard down to another to a 1 cost, and he just played a simple card and blew up Whitebeard, and that's ridiculous. So this is going to be one of your main enablers on getting people down to low cost so that your black cards can do what they want with them. Moving on to the next one, you have Borsalino, one of your best blockers. He's counter 1000, wonderful. He gets played on your opponent's turn, he gains plus 1k power. Mwah, chef's kiss. Blocker though. So he's a 6k blocker for literally just being there, and that is wonderful. And he can't be KO'd by effects. So Kaido isn't doing it. He's not going to be KO'd by Jet Pistol. You need to swing over him. And that's like the beauty of this card. 6k, you have to swing over him. I love it. The next card we're gonna get to is Smoker. 5 for 7k, and normally that's not stats that you find outside of vanilla. So it's very interesting to have this guy have, you know, those stats. Like, it's just very interesting to have a card with effects that have those stats. But he cannot be KO'd by KO effects, or KO'd by effects. They're doing this with a lot of Logia types lately. And as long as there is a character that costs 0 in play, this character gains double attack. So 7k double attack is nothing to scoff at. It's already a really strong number for dealing damage, but being able to swing for 2 damage is also very, very good. This guy is going to push so much damage through, and his art is fantastic, wonderful. Moving on to the next one, you got the big dog himself, Sakazuki. This guy's a 6 cost. You may trash 7k, 6 cost 7k. You may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 5 or less. This actually makes the biggest team up that's ever lived in the form of Kuzan, Sakazuki, and occasionally your leader. Like, think about some of the biggest things that you've never been able to remove off your opponent's field, right? If you swing with Okiji and you minus a Shanks down to 5, you can then tap 6 and play Sakazuki and blow it up. Just remove Shanks. Mihawk's on board, cool. Swing with Aokiji for damage, play Sakazuki, blow up Mihawk. And now you're thinking, well, what about those 10 costs? I mean, because you can hit 9-drop Kaido for that, but look, 10-drop Kaido. All you gotta do is use your leader effect. Like, swing with Aokiji, use your leader effect, play Sakazuki. Bang, 10 drops, gone. Whitebeard, he's a 9-drop. He's out the way too. Big Mom in the future, 10-drop. She's out the way. Like, this is amazing because it gives you a 1, 2, and potentially 3-step combo to remove literally any card in the game that doesn't say can't be removed by effects. So this is amazing. This is one of the main reasons why you'd want to play black. And then we're gonna move over to the secret rare. And the secret rare is actually going to be Kuzan. Kuzan is, during your turn, all of your opponent's characters gain -5 to their cost. He's the massive enabler. With Kuzan on board, you don't even need to use the other Kuzan. Kuzan on board, giving a static -5, so you can come in and Sakazuki can literally blow up any single boss, any single character in the game that doesn't prevent itself from being destroyed by effect. Kuzan, secret rare Kuzan on board, then a played Sakazuki will annihilate it. So that's actually really wonderful. Then on play, you're going to KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. And the cool thing about this is you got to think about all the cards this hits. All the cards this hits. Starter Luffy, Basil Hawkins, Trafalgar Law, either one actually. There's probably a longer list, but I just kind of blanked it. But you can kill like Virgos, you can kill any of the Virgo clones. There are so many cards that this guy just annihilates just coming off the board. But on top of that, he's also going to enable your leader to likely be a 0 or to be a 6k swinger every single turn. And like I said, he makes Sakazuki able to kill anything in the game. So that's pretty cool. Moving on to extra cards, you have got Impact Wave. You got Sengoku being clean in the back. Counter your leader or one of your characters gains plus 4k power for the turn, very strong. Then KO up to one of your opponent's active characters with a cost of 3 or less. So with once again, you're gonna find a like pretty much theme that if you have Kuzan on board, all your effects are going crazy. Every last one of them. This guy will be able to destroy technical 8 drops. Like hear me out. If they were for some reason to play or swing and not tap their 8-drop kid, if you're playing against Kit and they swing on you, don't drop their or tap their 8-drop kid first, if you have Kuzan on board, you can blow it up with this. That's nasty. You have to sequence different because a lot of your cards will be vulnerable to Impact Wave when Kuzan's up. So that's actually wild. Moving over to the next one, you got Meteor Volcano. And Meteor Volcano is actually a pretty strong card too. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or less, and it only costs 2. Now the trigger is the trigger, draw 2 cards, trash 1 cards from your hand, so it's got that Desert Spotter trigger. But when it comes to this, once again, swinging with Aokiji can drop something like a Basil or a Law down to literally 1, and then you can pay 2 and KO it. Having Aokiji on board, Aokiji, I keep saying that instead of Kuzan. It's first name instead of the last name. Having Kuzan on board, you're going to be able to use this card on many cards, 6 drops or less. And because of your leader, you can technically go up to 7. Your opponent can have a 7-cost kid, Kuzan drops it down to 2, and then your leader drops it down to 1, and then for 2, you can just play this and blow it up. So you got a lot of stuff going on with this deck. Now we're going to go over to underused. These cards aren't in every deck, but you see them every now and then. This is right here. You got on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 to their cost during this turn. For 2, that's not bad because there's a lot of other things you can combo with it. Like you could literally play this for 2 and then play Meteor Volcano for 2. So that's 4 Dawn and you can get rid of a 5 cost. Or a 6 cost using your leader. That's the thing you have to remember. I said the leader wasn't that great, but in combination with all these things, the leader is actually pretty juicy. Then, moving forward, you got another Helmeppo. This one costs 3. Counter 1000 when attacking. Give one of your opponent's characters -2 to their cost. Then if there's a character with 0 in play, this character gains 2000 power for the turn. Very easy to kind of get this to go burr. Like you use your leader effect on one guy, giving them -1, and then you actually swing, and this is -2. And anything like a Raizo, like any 3 costs will set this guy's effect up to go neutral versus your opponent. So just quick, easy damage, but I can see how it's not the most consistent and depends on what your opponent has on board. So maybe not. Then you got the Smoker. This Smoker, I believe, is what's going to be the promo form during the pre-release, but this character cannot be KO'd by effects, and when attacking, if there's a character with 0 cost in play, this character gains 2000 power during this battle, making him a 6k swinger for 3. And then, next, we are looking at another underused card. This one is Hina. With Hina, straight up, she's a blocker for 5 for 6000 power, so that's pretty good stats. On block, she's up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 6 or less. That character could not attack during this turn. This one's a little costly. It's a blocker, so a costly blocker, and your opponent can kind of out-sequence it pretty well. So all in all, I think that this one's a little on the lackluster side, but I can see why somebody may want to tech it if you feel like you want to be a little more defensive. The next card we got on the list is another Garp. This is actually the Garp SR from the starter deck. 5 for a 6k striker. Activate main, trash 1 card in your hand, and rest this character. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 4 or less. So that's not bad. It sucks you have to rest him. That's the only bad part. Like, you think you'd just be swinging, but you know, it is what it is. So he's more destruction. The deck already has a fair amount of destruction, so once again, I can see why this is a card that some people tech for more destruction, but a card that some people think is not necessary. And the last card on our list, we've got Great Eruption. This one, draw 1 card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during their turn. And then it's only for 1 though, and then trigger your opponent trashes 1 card from your hand. So this is one of those effects that would be great, and if this was on a body, it would probably cost 2 and it would be a 4 of. But because it is just simply not on a body, that is kind of the reason. It's an extra card. You can't counter with it. It doesn't swing. It draws one card and minuses two. So some people tech this at 1 or 2. Some people don't play it at all. I can see why this is fringe because it's got a really good effect, just not on a stick. So yeah. Past that, I do want to say that if you're looking for a place to pre-order future One Piece product, or any other card game product for that matter, and you also are looking for a place to, I don't know, fence your cards, sell them off, or to buy singles, I'm going to play the promo because we have a sponsor. So let's talk about our sponsor, Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all of your trading card game needs. On their site, you can buy or pre-order starter decks, boxes, even cases, as long as you try to give it about 3 to 4 months ahead of time for the pre-orders, because sometimes the product's a little too hot to keep on the shelves. If you want singles, you can go over to their TCG Player website where you'll find nothing but product and great reviews. And if you even want to sell your collections, just hop on over to their Facebook page and message them directly, and you get a price worked out for you, best bang for your buck. And you know what? While you're here, let me throw you a little something extra. If you want 5% off of any purchases made on the site, make sure you use the link in the description or at checkout, use the code WORSTGEN. That'll be on the screen as well, and I hope you find something you like with Mystic TCG. And there you have it. Mystic TCG, really great store, excellent prices, both on the buying and the selling. And yeah, so that was the primer for Smoker. I hope this helped you understand the deck a little bit more. I think it's a very, very, very strong deck, but in the case of any A and B type deck, and I mean, like I said, you have cards that set up, cards that profit. You're always gonna have those games where you get like a bunch of A cards, a bunch of cards that lower cost, but no cards that capitalize on it. And sometimes you'll get all the cards that capitalize on it, which are weaker when you don't have any of the cards that are enabling them. So this is always a fear, but when you draw well, these cards go off very, very nicely, and they do have a place in Set 2's meta. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. We're gonna have another primer or two this week, as well as an idea that I saw in the comments that somebody specifically asked me for, and so you will know if your wish was granted. Probably Saturday. I think Saturday or Sunday. I don't know if I want to upload the day that the Treasure Cup is happening, but we shall see. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support, and I will see you the next time you decide to join Universe X. Later.